The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Madam Speaker, in response to this production order, the Commissioner of the RCMP wrote in a letter to MPs, "In a free and democratic society, this ensures that the government cannot direct or influence the actions of law enforcement." It's incredible that the RCMP Commissioner has to write that letter and remind MPs of what is at stake here. My family fled a communist dictatorship 40 years ago where politicians directed police to attack and go after their residents of that country. Why do the Conservatives feel so comfortable undermining the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms? That's the fundamental question that is at stake in this debate, in this House, in this day.
Member for Peterborough-Kawartha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm curious when that member wants to freeze Canadians' bank accounts. I think that would be a great question to him when he wants to talk about violating Charter of Rights and invoking the strongest measure ever used in this House by that party when it was absolutely absurd. There wasn't a truck on that road when that Prime Minister kept that Emergencies Act in place. This is absurd. This is absurd, and everyone knows it. You know, I wanted to read what somebody wrote to me. As a Canadian tax, this is from Erin Enns, who just wrote on my Facebook. She's watching this debate, and this is what she has to say to the Liberals and to that member opposite. As a Canadian taxpayer, what gives you, the Liberal government, the right to spend our hard-earned money on frivolous things and not feel like you should divulge where specifically it went? Where do you get off feeling like you don't work for the Canadian people, yet we pay your salary?
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Member for Rivière-des-Mille-Îles. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to repeat the question from my Liberal colleague. Does my colleague believe that there's any issue, any charter issue in this order to produce documents?
Thank you so much for that question, and I love that question because I absolutely do not think that. This is public information. The government is a public organization. These are public documents. These is public taxpayer money. There is zero reason why these documents, unredacted, should not be handed over to the Canadian people and Parliament. It makes no sense to even have that argument. I said it at the beginning of my speech.